All right, so now this is where it really starts to get fun because we're going to go through some real specific examples. Now there is sheet music available for all of these examples. If you're a member of the site or you purchase the DVD, you can get the sheet music along with it. But now if you'd like to get the sheet music for free, you can also go to YouTubePiano.com. You can download the sheet music there. All you got to do is just fill out a web form. Yes, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I will email you. I will tell you how great the site is and how learning with my system is going to benefit you. You can take yourself off the email list at any time. We do not spam. There's a link right at the bottom that says, you know, just change your subscriber options and you can remove yourself. Do me a favor, don't hit the spam button, okay? Because what ends up happening is then we just have to end up taking all of this free stuff off the site. So I want to give this to you for free, all right? So if you don't want to sign up for the lessons or you don't want to purchase the DVD, just go to YouTubePiano.com, fill out that form, and you can download the sheet music for free. Now, all right, let's get started on this chord tone improvisation. What I did is I created these 4 different rhythms, and I've labeled them 1, 2, 3, 4. Rhythm number 1 is the D, ba, da, da. It's the 4 rhythms that we were talking about before, and you can see it on the sheet music. So if I take this simple pattern from the G7 to the G minor to the C7 to the F6, right? And if you want to learn more about chord shells and chords and what you can do with the left hand, I did a real nice series on piano chords. It's a 3 DVD bundle, which you can find it at pianowithwillie.com. Just click on where it says Get DVDs. Now, what I'm doing is, let me play it for you first of all, and then I'll explain it to you. So here we go. Okay? Now, what I have here is I'm just playing a very simple arpeggio of the chord. So dee ba da da, and I just took that arpeggio and applied that rhythm number 1 to it. Okay, so here's the rhythm, dee ba, and I just went right back to the beginning of the arpeggio and just kept going back up as many notes as I had available. So that rhythm number 1 is dee ba da da. So it's 6 notes. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say that I was doing rhythm number 3, which is dee ba. That's 8 notes, all right? 8 eighth notes. Then I go dee ba. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all I'm doing is I just keep going back to the root of the chord and just going up the arpeggio. Then in the second measure, I use rhythm number 2. Da, da, dee ba. Still 6 notes, but it has the 2 quarter notes in the beginning and then the 4 eighth notes. So it's da, da. So it's the first 2 notes of the G minor 7 arpeggio. There's a G minor 7 chord. Da, da. Then notice I cross underneath with that thumb, right? What I was talking about before. Dee ba, and I go right up that C dominant 7th arpeggio. Dee ba. And then I end on the root of F. Now, we'll talk about in a second why going from that B flat to the F isn't the best choice. But for right now, that's just a very simple way of approaching improvisation over all of these chords. If I were to keep going, so dee ba da, 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 dee ba. All right, and then I have A minor 7. To G7, okay, A minor 7, D7, G7, that's the next 3 chords in Our Love Is Here to Stay. Go dee ba, da, da. There's the A minor 7 to the D7, and then. So all I'm doing is using chord tones and arpeggiating these chord tones. Now in example B, let me play it for you. Sorry. Now you'll hear that this example is a little bit more flowing melodic phrasing here. What's happening is go up the 4 notes of the arpeggio, dee ba, and I just play the 5th and the 7th. Now notice I don't want to stop on that pinky. I really want to get underneath. I could do the pinky because since it's a quarter note, we can detach those quarter notes. They don't have to be legato. All right, so I could do that fine, it sounds fine, right? However, I like having my hands in position, so dee ba, and I'm gonna hit my thumb on a D, and then I go to the G minor, that's the root and the 5th, still notes from the chord, and then look at what I did in the C7, dee ba, It's coming right down that C7 arpeggio. I'm going to talk more about arpeggios later on in the lesson, but anyway, you get the point here. There's my C dominant 7th arpeggio. And then I'm ending on the 3rd of the F. Now, you see that ending on that 3rd is a little bit better because, see how I went right around that 3rd? I kind of boxed it right in like that, okay? That's a lot better than doing something like that where I'm like kind of like doing this big leap somewhere. And that's where going from the 7th down to the root of the F before, it didn't sound all that great. Now, in letter C, you see that I'm doing the same rhythm, but I'm changing the notes, and I'm also changing some of my target notes. So check this one out. Let me do that again. I'm going to do some better fingering. Looking ahead here, I probably started with my pinky. So, 5th to the 3rd, 5th, 3rd, root, root, did that octave, and then 7th, 5th, 3rd, root, 3rd, root, and then I ended on the 6th of the F6 chord. Now, we'll end up talking more about guide tones in a little bit, but basically that 6th, you can hear it has a different feel, a different weight to it than ending on that 3rd. That 3rd really solidifies what that chord is, whereas the 6th does not as much. And I'll talk about that more in the guide tone section. All right, so let me go through each of those examples one more time for you. Here's letter A. Ready? Go. To letter B. Letter C. Now, let's face facts. These lines are not going to win any improvisation awards. But the point is, they sound okay, they sound not that bad, and more importantly, they don't sound like they're crazy and outside, and they don't have like these bad notes in them or these notes that don't sound all that great to the ears, okay? There's good notes that work with the chords. It's pretty much inside the box, but that's a great place to start. Get these 3 lines down very well, okay? And then what you can do is try writing some of your own lines and then move on and do the next section, the A minor to the D7 to the G7 chord, okay? And then do another 3 measures or 2 measures and whatnot. Write out your lines and you'll start to see some improvement in how you can start to put them all together. All right, I'll see you in the next chapter.